Hi, welcome back. In this video, we will talk about arrays. Arrays are one of the most important data types. Before we talk about arrays, let us first build the problem. Assume that you have a class of students. Let's also assume that each student is identified by numbers from 1 to n. It is kind of the roll number of the student. Let's say we want to store the marks obtained in mathematics by one student. How do we do that? We will just say dim m as integer and m is equal to 85. Now, let's say we want to store the marks scored in mathematics by the first 5 students of the class with roll numbers from 1 to 5. Assuming that the students of the class are identified by numbers from 1 to 5, we will write dim m1 is integer, m2 is integer, m3 is integer, m4 is integer, and m5 is integer. Thus we declare 5 variables and then we assign the students' marks to the variables. m1 is equal to 87, m2 is equal to 78, m3 is equal to 91, m4 is equal to 68, m5 is equal to 77. So, variable m1 stores the marks obtained by student 1, variable m2 stores the marks obtained by student 2, and so on. Thus, m5 stores the marks obtained by student 5. What if you have 30 students in the class? You will end up creating 30 variables. Number of variables will be 100 if there are 100 students. It will soon become unmanageable to write so many variables. So are you getting the problem here? Let us go towards the solution provided in QBasic. Now, if you look closely at the way we created the variable, you can easily say that if the variable is m3, it is storing marks of student number 3. If variable is m5, meaning it's storing the marks scored by student with the roll number 5. So, we have established the correlation between variable that stores the marks and the student. Thus, just by looking at the variable, we can easily say which student's marks it represents. As I always try to find similarities between concepts of mathematics and QBasic, we will do the same while learning this topic of arrays. In mathematics, we have sets. Let's say we have a set that represents the marks scored by 5 students. I can write the set like this. M is equal to open curly bracket 85, 78, 91, 68, 77 and close curly bracket. For our convenience, we assume that this set is an ordered set. So marks are listed as per the roll number from 1 to 5. Meaning, first element of the set M represents marks obtained by student number 1, which is 85 in this case. Second element represents the marks obtained by student number 2 and so on. If we can use subscript of M to represent the element, then I can write M1 is 85, M2 is 78, M3 is 91, M4 is 68 and finally M5 is 77. If you look at the set again, set of marks obtained by students can be referred by a single set name, which is M. And then individual elements is referred by a subscript along with the name of the set. That is how you can refer to find marks obtained by students by just adding the subscript M1, M2, M3, M4 and M5. This concept is exactly applied to array in QBasic and other programming languages as well. Thus, in QBasic, if you want to find the marks obtained by student number 3, you write M, open bracket in 3 and then close bracket. While saying, you can just say M3. Let's go back to the program. We wrote M1, M2 and all. Instead of different variables, we will create only one variable. Now this variable is of the type array. Array is very similar to sets of mathematics. It is just a collection of data elements. You access the elements by the subscript. So here we go. Dim M100 as an integer. This variable M is of the type array and can contain up to 100 elements. This is important. You can store up to 100 elements in this array and not more. To access each element in the array, you can say M1 being the first element, M2 being the second element, M3 being the third element, and so on. Subscript 1, 2, 3 you will put in brackets. If you try to access M101, Quick Basic will throw an error. This is because we declared the array that contains only 100 elements. Now using this array, we will store the marks of 5 students. M1 is equal to 85, M2 is equal to 78, M3 is equal to 65, M4 is equal to 23, M5 is equal to 43. Let's say you want to print all the marks of 5 students. You will write a simple loop like for I is equal to 1 to 5, print mi, next I. Let's run the program. As you can see, all the marks are printed. If now there were 50 students, your loop will remain the same, except instead of 5, you will write 50. Let's modify the program a little bit. We will ask the user to enter marks for the student. While doing so, we will also learn one new trick while taking the input from the user. This is a very popular pattern. We are declaring the variable I and marks. We initialize I with 1. Then we have a do-while loop. Note the condition of the do-while loop, that is 1 is equal to 1, is always true. We take input from the user, that is marks obtained by student number I. Then we check if the marks are less than or equal to 0. If that is the case, then we break the loop by using exit command. Otherwise, we store the marks of the ith student in the ith element of array variable m. We are incrementing I so that we can store marks in the next element. I minus 1 will be the number of students. All marks are stored in variable m. Let's run the program now. Let us start inputting the marks. First 82, then 61, then 75, then 91, then 57. Let us now stop inputting. So we will put a 0. See, program has stopped taking input and printed all the marks of the student. Now, let us add one small feature to this program. We will demonstrate how to use this array variable m. Let's say we want to find the average marks of students. Formula for average is total marks divided by the number of students. Let us write the code. Let's run the program. We will input the marks for 5 students: 58, 87, 91 77, 64. And to stop, we will enter 0. As you can see, it printed the average, which looks correct. You can calculate it if you want. Let's go back to the program and see how the average is calculated. The formula for finding average is sum of marks obtained by students divided by number of students. Therefore, to find the sum of all marks obtained, we created a variable called total marks. This variable is initialized with 0. We started a for loop that runs for number of students. So, if number of students is 10, it will run from 1 to 10. Each element in M stores marks for student. So, the j element of M stores marks for the j student. This statement is important. If you remember the assignment operator, this evaluated the right hand side of the expression and assigned the evaluated value back to the variable total marks. Once a program is out of the loop, program prints the total marks obtained by all students and then it calculates the average by dividing total marks by the number of students. You can verify this value by using a calculator. Arrays are very important. You can similarly define array variables to store marks for other subjects. This way, you can capture student records for the entire class. With arrays, you can find out who has scored the highest in the class and who has scored the lowest. You can find the average and you can find how many students scored distinction in class and how many students failed the subject. Thus, you can get many statistical data out from array. Array can also be multidimensional. Two-dimensional array can be used to store data of a table. Best example of a two-dimensional array is an Excel sheet. Excel sheet stores data as two-dimensional array with rows and columns. We will not cover two-dimensional array and multidimensional array in this video. But you can see how to use multidimensional array in my GitHub repository where I have solved several exercise problems focusing on arrays. You can see the link in description of the video or at the end of the video. See you in the next video.